my Jamaican lamb shank with jerk gravy and plantain. Look how tender that is. Look at that. Beautifully tender. Let's make this. So I've got my lovely lamb shanks here. So what you want, a beautiful piece of lamb shank. Now get yourself a sharp knife and we're just going to stab the meat. Go all the way through if you can, or at least down to the bone. This is so that when we put our seasoning on, it'll penetrate the meat. Now for our seasoning, here's some freshly grated ginger. You can buy the paste or use the paste if you can't bother to grate it. Get that in. Then we've got some of this oxtail meat seasoning. Got this from Jamaica Valley. It's a link in my bio if you want some. Or you can use another variety. I'm also going to use this to-die bone seasoning, again from Jamaica Valley. And also this new Pimento Scotch bonnet seasoning. Smells amazing. So I'm going to restrain myself and not put any Scotch bonnet in this. If you haven't got that Scotch bonnet pimento, you can just put a Scotch bonnet in. It's a pimento, ground pimento. And I'm also going to use a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons of all-purpose seasoning. Now, get your hands in, give that a good rub over the meat. Next, I'm going to add in some fresh thyme. Get that in, along with some onions. About 5 garlic cloves in there, they're going to go in. Some scallions, green onions or spring onions, they go in. And I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons of browning. If you haven't got it, just put brown sugar in. Then we're just going to rub this in. Rub it into the meat, get it all coated again. Don't forget a glove. So they're all nicely coated. So what we do now, I'm going to cover it with cling film or plastic wrap or whatever you call it, like this. And I'm going to let that marinate. I'm going to leave mine overnight, but you want to leave it at least 2 to 3 hours, just to allow the flavours to get into the lamb shank. Back later. So I've taken my shanks out of the fridge, they've been in there overnight. Now we're just going to scrape off all the onions, garlic and everything like that. So we just have the bare shank. So I've got my Dutch pan nice and hot with a little bit of oil. Now we're just going to brown these off all over. While they're browning off, in here is all the marinade ingredients. To that we're going to add 2 carrots, which I've diced up into little dices. Get those in. I've got 2 medium-sized potatoes, again diced up. And you can't have a Jamaican dish without the red, gold and green onions, peppers. Get those in. And then we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of wet jerk seasoning. Now give that a good mix together. Those are browning up, let's get them out. And then in with our vegetables. Now we'll fry these off for 2 or 3 minutes. After 2 or 3 minutes of frying, add in your beef stock. So preheat your oven to about 160, 170. And then we're going to plonk these back in, try and get them underneath the juices, love. Under that stock. Now we're going to let that cook for about half an hour and then pop it in the oven. So this has been boiling for about 30 minutes now. It smells amazing. Now, I'm going to shove this in the oven. I'm going to leave it there for 2 to 3 hours, depending how tender the lamb is. Back in 3 hours. So this is out of the oven now, after 2.5 hours. Let's get them up. Oh, look at that. Look at that, come away from the bone so you know it's nice and tender. So, let's get this gravy sorted. So I've got myself a blender. I'm just going to blend up all the bits and pieces till nice and smooth. So now I'm going to take my shanks out. I'm just going to put them in a bowl for now. Look at them. How good do they look? And so for the remaining gravy, I've got myself another pan with a sieve here. And we're just going to pass this through, get all the lumpy bits out. So I've still got quite a lot of sauce there. It's thick but not thick enough for me, so I'm just going to cook that down and reduce it. So while my sauce is thickening up, let's prepare my potatoes. So in here I've got butter, I've got salt and pepper. To that I've got 1 spring onion. Get that in, finely chopped. A tablespoon of fresh thyme, finely chopped. And some cream. I'm just going to put in about 2 tablespoons at first. Then we're going to mash this up and see what it's like. Right, let's check this. That is the best mashed potato I have ever eaten. No exaggeration. It's delicious. Oh! Right, almost time to plate. My sauce is now on point. I'm going to put my shanks back in again just to keep them nice and warm. So while those are warming up, we're going to get our plantain. I'm going to have this as a side. I'm going to peel this and I'm going to fry this up. Okay, so the plantain. Oh my god, that's ready. Potatoes ready. And the shanks are ready. Let's plate up. Okay, look at this potato. Amazing. So, get some of that on. Bit more because it's so nice. On with our shank. Oh. Oh. So good. Some plantain. How pretty does that look? Then we're going to sprinkle a little bit of freshly chopped coriander on the top. How good does that look? Finishing touches, just a little bit of that jerk gravy. And there it is. Look at